Welcome back to our channel, where real-life stories remind us that karma always finds its way home. If you love true moral stories that make you think twice about actions and consequences, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay till the end, because today's story will leave you absolutely speechless. This is the story of betrayal, revenge, and a shocking twist that no one saw coming, when a mistress attacked a pregnant wife in a hospital, not realizing who her own father really was. It all began on a quiet morning in a private hospital. The air smelled of disinfectant and fresh lilies, the kind of calm that only hospitals have before chaos erupts. Inside room 208 lay Emily, a gentle woman in her late 20s, glowing with the joy of impending motherhood. Her husband Daniel had stepped out briefly to grab breakfast, leaving Emily scrolling through her phone, softly humming to herself. Everything seemed perfect, or so she thought. What Emily didn't know was that Daniel wasn't the man she believed him to be. For months, he had been living a double life, sneaking around with a woman named Sophie, young, wild, and dangerously obsessed with him. Sophie wasn't just any other woman. She was ambitious, manipulative, and used to getting what she wanted. She knew Daniel was married, but she didn't care. To her, Emily was an obstacle, a problem that needed to be handled. One rainy night, Sophie sat in her apartment, staring at the pregnancy test in her hand. Positive. Her lips trembled as tears fell, not from sadness, but fury. "How dare he?" she whispered. "He said he loved me. He said he'd leave her." She dialed Daniel's number. He picked up after a few rings, his voice tired. "Sophie, I told you not to call me at this hour." "You told me a lot of things, Daniel," she snapped. "You told me you'd leave her. Guess what? I'm pregnant." Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. Daniel's tone changed. "Sophie, don't do anything stupid." "Stupid," she shouted. "You think I'm stupid? You used me." She threw the phone across the room, breathing heavily. In her twisted rage, a dark idea began to form. A week later, Emily's due date arrived early. Daniel rushed her to the hospital. Nurses helped her into bed while Daniel called their family to share the news. But while Emily was being prepped for delivery, Sophie was standing just outside the hospital, staring up at the building with cold eyes. Inside her coat pocket was a small switchblade. Her thoughts were consumed by one thing: making Emily pay for stealing her man. As visiting hours ended, the hallway grew quieter. Sophie slipped through the side entrance unnoticed. She knew which room Emily was in. She'd seen the text Daniel accidentally sent, the one he meant for his wife but sent to Sophie instead. Room 208. Sophie's heels clicked softly against the tile floor as she approached the door. She could hear the faint beeping of medical monitors and the soft breathing of a woman resting. Her hand trembled as she gripped the doorknob. Inside, Emily was asleep, exhausted from labor pains. Her belly rose and fell gently. Sophie stepped closer, her face filled with twisted resentment. "This is the woman who ruined my life," she whispered. "You took him from me." Suddenly, Emily stirred awake. Her eyes fluttered open. Who are you?" she asked weakly. "I'm the woman your husband really loves," Sophie spat. "And you're nothing but a burden." Emily tried to sit up, clutching her stomach. "Please, leave. I'm pregnant." "Oh, I know," Sophie sneered, pulling out the blade. "That's the problem." But before she could move, the door burst open. A deep, commanding voice thundered, "Sophie." Sophie froze. The knife slipped from her hand and clattered onto the floor. She turned slowly, her eyes widened. Standing in the doorway was Mr. Harrison, a tall man in his late 50s with sharp gray eyes and an expensive suit. "Dad," Sophie whispered, her heart pounding. Emily gasped. You know her." Mr. Harrison's face was a storm of anger and disbelief. "Sophie, what are you doing here? What is this?" Sophie's voice broke. "Dad, she stole Daniel from me." Mr. Harrison looked at Emily, then at the knife, then back at his daughter. His expression hardened. Daniel, as in Daniel Carter. Yes, Sophie cried. The man I love, Mr. Harrison's face turned pale, his jaw clenched. He looked at Emily with a mix of horror and guilt. Emily, Daniel Carter is your husband. Emily nodded slowly, still shaking. Yes. Do you know him? Mr. Harrison closed his eyes, exhaling shakily. I know him, he said. Because he works for me. He's my personal assistant. The room fell silent. Sophie stumbled backward. What are you talking about? Mr. Harrison looked at her, his voice trembling with disgust. That man you're so obsessed with. The man who lied to you. He's been using you to get close to me. I thought he was ambitious, loyal. I didn't know he was destroying lives. Emily's tears flowed freely now. He lied to both of us. Sophie's lips quivered. No, he loves me, Dad, he does. Mr. Harrison's voice grew louder. Love, you were about to hurt an innocent woman and her unborn child. Do you even hear yourself? The weight of his words hit Sophie like a hammer. Her eyes darted to the knife on the floor, then to Emily, trembling and frightened. For the first time, she saw herself, not as a victim, but as the villain. She fell to her knees, sobbing. I didn't know. I just wanted him to choose me. Emily's nurse rushed in, alerted by the noise. Within minutes, hospital security arrived. Mr. Harrison ordered them to stay back. She's my daughter, he said, voice breaking. Let me handle this. He knelt beside Sophie. You're my child, he said softly, but what you've done today could have cost 2 innocent lives. Do you understand that? Sophie wept uncontrollably. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But before she could finish, Daniel walked into the room. He froze, seeing the scene. Sophie on her knees, her father glaring, Emily in tears. What's going on? He stammered. Mr. Harrison turned, his voice cold as ice. What's going on, Daniel, is that you've destroyed 2 families. Daniel's face drained of color. Sir, please, I can explain. Explain what? Mr. Harrison roared. That you slept with my daughter while being married to my employee's sister. That you lied to both women to climb your way up. Emily gasped. I'm your employee's sister. Mr. Harrison nodded grimly. Yes, your brother, Mark, works in my company. He's one of my most loyal men. Daniel looked trapped, desperate. Please, Mr. Harrison, don't fire me. I made a mistake. Mr. Harrison stepped forward, his voice deadly calm. A mistake. You cheated, lied, and let jealousy almost end a life. You're lucky I'm not calling the police. Emily turned away, tears streaming down her face. Daniel, I loved you. I trusted you. He reached for her hand, but she pulled away. Don't touch me, she whispered. As security escorted Daniel out, Sophie looked at Emily with guilt. I'm so sorry, she said softly. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know who my father really was to him. Emily took a deep breath, her hand resting on her stomach. You almost hurt my baby, she said quietly. But I believe in forgiveness, and I hope one day, you'll forgive yourself too. Mr. Harrison helped Sophie to her feet. You need help, Sophie, he said. Real help. And you're going to get it, starting now. He turned to Emily. I will make sure you and your child are safe. And as for Daniel, he'll never step foot in my company again. Emily nodded, her voice trembling. Thank you for stopping her. Mr. Harrison sighed deeply. No, Emily, thank you for reminding me that even those we love can lose their way, and that it's never too late to make things right. Months later, Emily gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She named him Hope, because that's what he represented, a new beginning after the storm. Daniel tried calling, tried begging for forgiveness, but Emily never answered. She filed for divorce and moved to a new town, starting fresh with her son. As for Sophie, She entered therapy. The road to recovery was long, but she began to understand the damage her obsession had caused. Mr. Harrison stood by her side, guiding her through it, determined not to lose his daughter to guilt and shame. Daniel, on the other hand, lost everything: his job, his reputation, and the respect of both women he betrayed. He moved away quietly, haunted by his own actions. Years later, Emily sat in a park, watching little Hope play on the swings. A woman approached her slowly. It was Sophie, older, calmer, a shadow of her former self. She carried a small bouquet of white lilies. "Emily," she said softly, "I didn't know if you'd want to see me." Emily looked at her, then at the flowers. "For peace?" she asked. Sophie nodded. "For peace. I just wanted to say, thank you for forgiving me when I couldn't forgive myself." Emily smiled faintly. "We all make mistakes. What matters is what we do after." Sophie's eyes filled with tears. "Your son, he's beautiful." Emily glanced at Hope and said, "He's my reason to stay strong." The two women stood there in silence, the past still between them but no longer defining them. Before Sophie left, she turned and said, "You know, Dad still asks about you. He says you're the strongest woman he's ever met." Emily smiled. "Tell him I said thank you." Sophie nodded, her heart finally lighter. As she walked away, she realized that true strength wasn't about revenge or control, it was about letting go and choosing peace. The camera fades to Emily holding her son, sunlight streaming through the trees. Her voice narrates softly, "Life doesn't always give us the people we deserve. Sometimes, it gives us the people we need, to teach us, to test us, and to change us." And that's the story of how a mistress's blind rage almost destroyed a family, but fate had one last twist, a father's intervention that changed everything. If you like this story and believe in karma, loyalty, and second chances, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more powerful true stories every week. This is your channel, reminding you that every action has a consequence, and every heart has the power to heal.